Welcome viewers to the live updates on the 2024 BREAM Australian Open on Sydney Harbour. Today has been pretty good weather compared to yesterday. The wind's down in certain areas and a lot of anglers have gone to bays to try and find their bag. You know, it's been a pretty good morning. We've had some big movers up the scoreboard and the general consensus is most anglers are finding it quite tough. So I think they're waiting for the tide to run, which I think is going to improve. Like yesterday, that's when most of the guys started to get better fish. So I think all the anglers are kind of like, I guess you could say, anchoring their spots to stay there to wait for the tide to change. I've got Dave and Nicole here to give us the technical updates, and so it's good. Probably the big mover for the morning is Jamie McEwen, who's found some good fish on the scoreboard.
Pop the scoreboard up there now, because we're
so
sitting right now.
So Jamie's sitting on 6.746 kilos. Today he's kind of like a shot out of a gun, which has been awesome. He's found some good fish, and that's what Jamie does in this kind of like environment. Can you enlighten us on any techniques you think Jamie's on?
Jamie's very good on the crabs from what I've seen over the years. You know, he's won 2 already, and you know he could be coming back for a third.
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely climbed up pretty high up today, all the way to the top, and then you know you've got Hickson behind with what's it like, about 200 grams.
Yeah, so Chris has got it. He's got his 5 as well. Our day one leader. He said he struggled a little bit in the morning, but he's kind of waiting for that tide to change as well. Yeah. Chris has got. He says he's got a couple of good fish, keepers in the bag, and he wants to get rid of those smaller ones, as you can see on the scoreboard, down to 20, kind of like 25, 26 forkers. Most of the people that have kind of like bigger fish, except Jamie. Like Jamie's holding a really good average at the moment, so he's got that magical 30 forker mark. So
I think the thing about Jamie too, like he is one of the most patient anglers that we have out there. We've seen him, he's won in years gone by just sitting on that reef.
Yep.
He can sit there all day and just wait for only 5 bites.
Yep.
But when he's confident they're going to be the 5 right bites.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he has patience that I've never seen.
Yeah, there's not many people that can sit on one spot for that long and just wait and wait and wait. But it shows over the years that it does pay off.
I wonder if he listens to music or something like that.
Nope, it is him at one with the fish out there.
He's just watching our YouTube channel, watching replays of last year to try and see if he can channel some zen there. But he's doing a wonderful job. Like that's awesome. Like, and that's going to put him in good stead for day 3, because if you're struggling on day 2, obviously you're looking for fish that are biting. We just stuck our head out the window before and we saw Mario Vukic go past, and I had a quick chat to him, and he was over at can we say spots here? He was over that way, and he could see a lot of fish on live scope, but he couldn't get them to bite. So he's come over here and he's getting them to bite. So
we've actually got an update from the water from Mario.
Yep.
Why don't we roll to that?
Sounds good.
While we're talking about him.
Awesome.
Okay, we've got 4 fish. It's nearly 10 o'clock. 4 fish. Got one reasonable one at a bit more than 30 fork, and 3 bag fillers. One only just. So we're going to get rid of those 3 hopefully, and keep upgrading. It's a lot tougher than yesterday. We're in Lane Cove, as you can see. And we're just throwing crabbies to boat holes. That's the only thing that they'll take. I've tried the muss and crabs, but with no joy. So hopefully we can chip away at it and improve this bag.
And that's really interesting to hear from Mario there. Like, gone to the crabby, which is a lighter presentation than the other 2. In contrast, we've got Steve's live feed here, and he's over in Middle Harbour, and he's been throwing a crab, and he's been getting fish. It's been a long time between bites. We actually can see on the big screen here that Steve's hand-lining a fish or hand-lining something. I think he's just trying to get his crab back or his muss. But, it's really funny here. It's like patchy weather. You know, as we can see Steve over at Middle Harbour here, it looks like he's got pretty good weather over here, like at Drummoyne. And Nick will put up the big map here to give people the contrast of, you know, what's actually going on and where we are, as opposed to where some anglers could be. And you might be able to see that on the screen there. So, yeah, you know, Steve's over up the top there in the north at Middle Harbour, and, you know, we're down the bottom here. We're at Drummoyne Sailing Club. So it's a fair run for Steve to get over there. And then the Parramatta River's up here. So there's a few anglers up there. Like, we know a few anglers up there, I think.
Yeah, a few of the Daiwa guys will be up there.
Tarka's up there, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Blackwater Bay is a pretty good one as well, where the fish markets are.
Yep. We heard from Liam Carruthers the other day, and he's at Iron Cove.
Yep.
So I think he's just waiting for the tide to run. So, you know, he was in second spot after yesterday. So it's really getting exciting. You know, everyone's waiting for this tide to start running, and then I think we can see a little bit more action. But, you know, testament to the guys. We've got 33 really good anglers on the water at the moment, and you know, they're slowly filling bags, which has been really good. So
yeah, just from that video, it is a huge arena.
Yeah,
massive.
And they can probably go all day, really, without seeing another angler.
Yep.
If they tried hard enough.
Definitely.
If they want to hide out, if they're in a secret spot. So some big news this morning. So you know, we've had. There's always drama in these kind of events, and the biggest drama normally comes with breakdowns and boat trouble. So this morning we had trouble with Aaron Tracy, one of our competitors, had trouble with his boat, and yeah, like Dave will tell us the story. So
yeah, taking on a bit of water. So he's all safe, so there's no issues with that, and he should be able to hand his key tag in sometime today.
Yeah.
He's safe, his observer's safe,
yep.
The boat not so safe.
Not so safe, yeah.
So yeah, very disappointing for Aaron, because he absolutely loves his fishing in
he's
general,
a
but
passionate.
Competing in the tournaments.
Yep.
He was supposed to be at the Hawkesbury on the weekend,
Yep.
so he's feeling it, a bit gutted at the moment, but he's safe, and that's the main thing.
That's the main thing, and that's our priority at ABT, is just to make sure everyone was safe. So, you know, I think we'd like to thank the Navy that helped him with the retrieval. So I think if you follow him on Instagram, you can see the damage to his boat, and all the best to Aaron. So hopefully he gets back up soon and back into the events, because he's a good young angler, and he's an asset to our industry. So yeah, going back to that as well, you know, boat troubles. We've also Tom Slater at the number 3 spot and top I guess Daiwa angler. He gave us an update before. He's had a bit of trouble with electrics, if what we can hear. So, yeah. So I think we haven't had an update lately, but that was about an hour ago.
I think there was a bit of on-water mechanics going on.
Yeah.
So hopefully Tom can get that back up and running and get some more fish on the board before 2 o'clock.
Tom's really good with that sort of stuff. He can fix anything. Not only can he develop reels and rods, he can handle a boat pretty well. So, good luck, Tom. Hope you're back on the water soon. And then we've just been slowly watching the weights come in here to see any updates. So as it's been quite slow, and like, you know, coming into, what's the time now? So
About 11:30.
11:30, yeah. Like, you know, it's notorious that 12 o'clock, around 12 o'clock's like quite quiet in brimming circles. I've noticed, like, you know, in doing events in the past, 12 o'clock's kind of like a bit of a quiet period, but from after that, then you know, it can be all guns blazing till that 2 o'clock finish. So we're pretty excited, and the tide's going to start picking up as well, which is really good. So yeah.
So, yeah, well, this event too, we've had a great response from observers, keen to jump on board with our anglers. They're out there capturing a whole heap of video, a whole heap of photos. I think one of my favourite photos that came through this morning, we got this one of Jamie McEwen.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
a
that
cracker.
just a nice, artsy, beautiful spot?
Yep.
Sydney Harbour rainbow.
That's
Showing the weather off that we're getting there today.
a great photo.
But they've been collecting, so about 10:30 this morning, we got a lot of our anglers to send through a quick little update, how their morning's going, how they're feeling about the afternoon, what plans they've got. So why don't we just roll to a few of those updates we've had come through now.
Having a struggle today, catching plenty of these, nothing legal. Poor report, but 0 so far.
Here with Ben Breckenridge up the Parra River this morning. The weather's playing nice. How are you seeing the fishing?
It's been a little bit slower than what I would expect, but it's actually quicker than yesterday. So got our bag already had 1 or 2 upgrades in there as well. Nothing huge, but going to work our way back down towards the harbour bridge and just see what we can pick up along the way.
Nice work.
Hey guys, day 2 of the Oz Open, 10 o'clock update. No secret, I'm at Iron Cove Bridge, which means one of 2 things. I'm either here to get a big one because I've got a stable bag, or I need to come here to make my bag up, and unfortunately today it's the latter. It's 10 a.m. and I have 2 fish. Those 2 fish have come in the last sort of 10 minutes, so fingers crossed I can get onto a quick bite, get 3 more and then get to work, because at the moment it's not looking good.
Alright Alan, how's your day been so far, mate?
Pretty slow, man. We would have got 4 fish, one of them's barely a line burner. They're not biting any kind of special, so yeah, better to have 4 than none though.
That's it. What do you got planned for the rest of the session?
Yeah, look, I'm at a loss, so I'm going to be just probably fishing new water, looking for fish a few more holes. Now we've found a few on the edges on a crankbait bite, fish a bit more edge, and yeah, just take it as we find it.
Yeah, nice mate, nice. Alright.
Back to it.
I'm here with Dane, day 2, 2024 Australian Open on Sydney Harbour. Dane, how was your morning, and what's your predictions for the rest of the day?
Well, morning started out really good. Second cast or third cast, we got an 850 grammer, and then it's been, we lost a good fish, and then it's been trevally, leather jacket. Just got my second fish then, it's a small one. Hopefully the bite turns on soon, because it's stressful at the moment.
Fantastic, good luck.
Cheers.
Rightio, it's nearly 10 o'clock. 10 actually, and finally just got the 5th fish. Been a pretty slow morning, no real big fish yet, which is kind of expected. Got a bit lucky yesterday with some decent bites. 2 that I'm happy to have in the bag if that's what it's going to be like, and 3 pretty small ones, real small ones. So it's definitely a lot tougher fishing today. I can't pattern them, I can't pick where they're going to be. It's just a matter of fishing through them. So hopefully a bit of tide this afternoon brings some more bigger fish on. But yeah, a bit more company today as well. I can see a few boats as I'm driving around, fishing similar sort of areas to what I am, so no doubt I'm fishing dirty water. Just hoping I can do it better, so we'll keep going, and fingers crossed we can turn one on this afternoon.
So there you have it, update from our anglers, and yeah, as you can hear, it's the general consensus is pretty tough out there. So I think it's gonna has its promising kind of aspects. I reckon having that cloudy day here today is actually quite good for the anglers. So fish might be out a bit more in the open, as it's quite a tight structure fishing in the harbour. Just going to our scoreboard, we were talking about Jamie, who's been a mover. One of the other big movers is Jason Graham. Him and his Phoenix bass boat been cruising around, and I think he's been on good fish. He's got probably one of the bigger fish for today at a 1.164 kilos. So, and he's got some good fish in his bag, as you can see in the scoreboard. He's got another kilo fish, and a couple of squeakers in the end. But he's got the second biggest bag behind Jamie at the moment. So, and that's shot him up to 5th spot. He's just behind Tom there. So, yeah, it's exciting, to see what happens when the tide changes.
So we do have those app estimator scoreboards running live all session, all 3 days of the Open. So ABT website, abt.org.au. It's the leading article there on the homepage. Click on that. It'll bring up all those scoreboards live as they're happening. So anglers, they're catching their fish. They're having their best guess. Fishermen are always pretty keen to tell you they know exactly what they've got.
Or optimistic.
So this is putting them to the test.
Yep.
They've all been
It's a
given
lie
as
detector.
well. They've got this length weight table. So it gives them, this is based from data from Fisheries New South Wales. So thousands and thousands and thousands of BREAM samples, the average weight for length of fish based on the fork length. So they can use that as a bit of a guide as well to help them as they're estimating their fish for these scoreboards.
And that's great, because then when they come in and weigh them in at 2 o'clock, then we can kind of see the true weight. But then this has given us and the viewers at home an actual sample of what could happen. If someone's having a really good day sort of thing. So
And it works really well until we throw Chris Hickson in the mix.
Yeah, that's right. He's always a couple 100 grams above what he puts in.
yeah,
Couple
kilos
kilos
out.
sometimes. Yeah.
well, I think sometimes he plays that little like coy game where he's underestimating, and then he comes and brings home the bacon. Yeah, as they say. And also another mover that we've had today is Mark Crompton. So Mark's just a steady competitor. He's won here before. He knows what to do. He had a bag yesterday, like a kind of an average bag for Mark. I think he was kind of a little bit disappointed and wish he had got a little bit more. But today he's come in at he's got 5 fish for 2.24 as an estimate. So he's got a couple of good fish in there, but I think he wants to get rid of the smaller ones at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens with Cromo.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of company on his boat these
He
last
does.
couple of days
He's got
too.
Rich on the boat filming the pursuit. So that'll be another really good episode to watch.
Yeah.
So they can watch the pursuit. That'll come out over the next couple of months. By the time you guys edit that one up,
normally in a month or month and a half time. So
you can
fingers
keep an
crossed.
eye out.
Yeah, depending how busy Rich is.
We've had some pretty good stars on the pursuit, though. With Tom Slater the first year, and then we had Chris Hickson last year. So, it's great. That gives anglers and people an even bigger insight on what actually happens in tournament situations.
Yep.
There's a lot of factors like you got the weather, where you want to be. Years ago, one of our stalwart anglers and now who's fishing bass, Craig Simons once said to me, when you're fishing out there, you always got to ask yourself the question, are you at the right place at the right time of the tide? And that's a really big part on a big arena like this. So there's a lot of tidal flow. You can be in a bay where you think there's going to be fish, but at that time of the tide it might be the wrong place. So little tips like that you get from watching, a series like The Pursuit, where anglers can give you the real insight on how their brain works during tournaments.
So that'll be on the Daiwa YouTube channel, but you'll let us all know on your socials when that one's gonna drop.
Yeah, going back, I think 2018, where we filmed the first pursuit, or second pursuit, sorry, and Cromo had Brett on the boat filming for 2 days, and then switched over to Hickson, and then Cromo took it out and won. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, really good to see the diversity of anglers out there. So,
okay, so anglers are superstitious.
Yep.
And we've got 2 great camera guys from Daiwa we've had involved in filming the pursuit.
Ooh, controversial topic, but yeah.
Brett and Richard.
Yep. Who's the luckiest?
Who
do you not want on your boat filming you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough call.
Cromo's climbing back up, so you might want Rich, but
on day 2.
We'll have to see. There's still another day to go.
To Brett's testament, he's a new dad now, so he won't be filming. Yeah. So
the anglers have breathed a sigh of relief.
Yeah, he's probably watching. Hi, Brett.
Yeah. Thanks, Brett.
Why do you think they're great members of the Daiwa team?
They are.
On land?
Yep. Going back to the scoreboard, so we'll digress away from that. We've got Victorian contingent here this time. So, Mario's had as I said, we just spoke to him before. He's just fishing near our weigh-in here. He's had a tough morning as well, but he's got a bag of 5 together. He just got a nice 29 forker just before. So, good to see Mars up here, our former grand final winner. He's very versatile on any arena, and he's really good at going through his techniques. And he, as you saw in a video before, he said he tried crabs, tried the mass, and he's gone to a lighter presentation in a crabby on a light hidden weight jig head. So it's good that Mario's doing pretty well. Hopefully he can climb up the ladder a little bit more. But he's probably one to watch, just inside the top 10. Could easily get a good fish and just shoot him up there. He's got the skills.
Yeah. And so it's not only fun to sit back and watch the excitement of who actually takes home the big trophy at the end, but it's the little side competitions and who's beaten who.
Yep.
That's always fun to keep an eye on. And for the Victorians, so Mario and Jesse wrote
Yep.
in, another Daiwa angler, made the trip up from Victoria this year to compete in
Yep.
the Open. Yesterday, Mario just pipped Jesse.
That's right.
So yeah, we'll keep watching those two
Yeah.
battle it out for cabin champion each night.
They'll be loving that. And look, talking about anglers that have travelled, we've got heaps of Queenslanders here this year. Guys who've made the big trek down. There's Blake O'Grady, Drew Griffiths, Matthew Fatafay. It's good that they, and Chris Greensall as well. Like a lot of these guys are new to ABT, and Drew's been around for a while, but he's had a bit of a sabbatical from ABT and come back in the last couple of years, and he's been fishing really well. So it's good to have these guys down here to actually see the diversity on the arena. Obviously, this arena has some attraction to them. We've also got Bernie Kong as well from Queensland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's been a little bit quiet at the moment, but hopefully we can hear where he is and what's going on there. So it's good to see some Queenslanders here in the mix. From there. So we'll see what happens. Our latest update. So have we had any fish come through on our scoreboard?
There's no changes to the leaderboard.
Yep.
As it sits at the moment. So we've still got Jamie sitting up there taking the lead. Chris Hickson, debatable if he's actually in second because we know how good he is at underestimating his catches.
Yes.
Steve Morgan jumped up the leaderboard and we're just waiting to see what's happening with Tom Slater.
Yep.
And his boat, hopefully he's getting that up and going again. Last we heard he was over Manly
Wharf, yep. Having running repairs. Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that one.
Whether he's got trouble with the electric or sounders and stuff like that. So.
And then Ben Breckenridge rounding out that top 5.
Yep.
Sort of as we head towards lunchtime. What's really cool with Ben is that a couple years ago he actually signed up to come along as an observer for the Open. And I know he did spend one of his days out with Steve Morgan. And then the next year we saw him competing.
Fantastic.
So it's nice to see that progression and that cycle where guys come just to
it.
see what it's about and they get hooked pretty quickly.
And I think that's great for the for our industry and the competition. You see a lot of new faces. We've got a few new faces this year in the Open, and that's really good for guys who just want to step up. A lot of them have been local anglers, which is really quite good. And they're feeling their way through the whole competition, and experiencing a big event on a big arena is something different. So good on them for stepping up. It's a big day.
It is a huge thing. Such a difference between you just going out for a social fish on your own and going, oh, this is fun, this is easy, versus a tournament situation. You have to do absolutely everything on your own, from the decisions through to netting your own fish. Throw in the fact that you're probably not fishing your ideal tides.
Yes.
Like we're seeing today.
Yes.
The weather, it's not perfect weather. So throw all that in the mix. And it's a huge 3 days for the guys. It's mentally draining, physically draining. And as we're seeing, it can be taxing on your equipment as well.
Well, especially, when you're coming into the day 2. Like day 2 is like, you've hit all your day 1 spots. Some of them are dry. And sometimes you're scratching your head going, okay, what am I going to do? This is make or break day 2. Like, you can really tap into something different, and it may dry up on day 3. But as we've seen in the past, Dave, guys have really put their head down, and you see the true anglers rise to the top.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were talking about Mario before, but could turn around and he could find another big one. Like last year, on the last day, he came around and pulled a proper fish from Lane Cove from memory.
It was the only angler to come in with a 5 kilo bag.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
He learns quickly.
He learns very quickly. We always talk about the guys at the top of the scoreboard. I think we should go down to the bottom of the scoreboard and give you a bit of an insight of any information that we know about the guys down the bottom there. They're slowly sifting through their fish and getting a bag. Like we've got at the moment, we've got Matt Hall down the bottom. Buzzing around in an awesome bass cat boat. Like I think Matt's done really well at Hawkesbury in the past, if I remember. It's he's a Sydney boy, so he might know a few spots here, which gives us that kind of like feeling that he could come back with some fish somewhere or other. And then and Mitch Hines is like having a tough day as well, but he's got 3 fish, which is good. Like that's a start. Like he knows, fish are biting, which is good. And then Adam, I can't remember. Vixney, yeah. So this is bad because I fished with Adam first day at Hawkesbury last year, and he ended up catching a 41 forker.
This donkey of a bream.
I think it's come to ABT Nelly Big Bream record.
It is in the history books.
Yeah, so I watched Adam catch this fish, and it was a donkey. It was he just threw the muss into this rock ledge, and this thing just came out and inhaled it. And to watch him fight it and come in, it was unbelievable. It was one of those things where Adam just had this confidence about the muss. He had been fishing it with his brother-in-law and team member, and he was telling me all about it, going, I know this is a big fish lure, and he just persisted with it. Nailed this monster last year at Hawkesbury. So it's great to see Adam step up, and he had a tough day yesterday, just only having 1 fish, but to see him come back, and he's got 3 fish today. So hopefully, Adam just learns on the fly, and he has the potential of getting big fish. So he's one to watch as well. So it'd be good. From there, we've got Bernie. So we mentioned Bernie, one of our Queenslanders, and 2 Queenslanders there in Bernie and Blake. They're finding it a little bit tough. They're probably catching good sized fish for Queensland, but the average fish that we want here is obviously a 30 forker. Like that's going to set the standard here. So hopefully Bernie and Blake can put it together.
I don't know if you had time yesterday, busy packing to get down
Yes.
here, but that weigh-in live from 2 o'clock again today. But Dave was there. It was just the tales of heartbreak from some of these guys. Anglers like Blake, they were just defeated.
Yep.
Coming up with this new game plan to come into day 2.
Yep.
It was just tough conditions out there for them yesterday. It was all the tales of the one that got away and the could have, should have, didn't do.
Yes.
So I think a lot of readjustments made for today.
But a lot of these guys are experienced. Like Blake's, he follows the whole ABT tour around, and great versatile angler. But he's an all or nothing guy. He just throws it all in. He's got so much knowledge in his head. And when it comes off, it really comes off. He's good at thinking on the fly and remapping game plans and stuff like that, which is what you want from anglers in this sort of arena, where what worked last year. Like we can see Steve here, who was smashing it on 3-pound line, throwing muscles at pontoons. He's struggling a little bit more today. Like fish aren't coming as often on board. So
we saw too, like going back the last sort of 3-4 years, Jamie won it back to back fishing that reef at Pig and Sour. He's moved since then. Like it has not been able to be won there since.
So that's a big consensus through there. So going back to the scoreboard, we've got from there we're working up. We've got Brett Crowe. He's a stalwart. He's becoming quite a mantelpiece in the old ABT tour.
He's a gentleman. Of the circuit.
Absolutely legend. I fished with him at Gippsland Lakes in 20. I think it was like 2020 or 2020. I think it was, and true gentleman of the sport. Like it's great to see him step up to this arena. He originally from a Hobie background, and then jumped in the boat and just got rid of the Hobie. So
you know what he does in his spare time?
What's that?
He runs kilometres and kilometres and kilometres. He's
Really?
a marathon runner. I think
always
earlier
running.
this year he was over in America or Canada, running
right.
100 kilometres, and
Yep.
man can run.
Yeah, he's always fit and healthy. I see him camping out at a lot of ABTs and in his van, and he's always a gentleman to talk to. So it's good to see him at the arena. I think he's fished here before. I think whether he fished last year.
Few Australian Opens.
Yeah, so it's good to see Brett here. So another name from there is like Chris. Chris is a Queensland person, and like Chris's whole ABT story has really been like one of those fast track ones where he's come to heaps of events now. He's gaining experience and knowledge on the water, like as opposed to just doing study off the water. Chris is on the water all the time, and he fishes with his daughter Abby up in Queensland a lot, and
He's probably not at school again today, keeping an eye on Dad.
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes Chris would like to have Abby on the boat to help him out fill the bag. Chris has only got one fish today, but he's got a 650 there. But hopefully, Chris can put it together. He's got the skill set to do it. He's running a boat with a Yamaha SHO, so they can get him around anywhere in Sydney Harbour.
So here's a question for the panel. If you were going to go out as an observer, you're not allowed to fish, you get to spend the day with one of our 33 anglers out there. Who is your primo pick to spend the day out on the boat with? You go first, Dave.
He's been put on the spot.
Probably Hickson, to see if he actually enters the right length.
I think Dave would probably be there with like a scales like they do in the MLF in the States, checking everyone. It was like 225 check.
Yep. See what goes through Hickson's mind when he's out there.
Well, as we said before, Chris has got hands of steel. He just picks the bream up, wedges him under the arm, and just takes him up and throws him.
Throws him back.
So he's definitely that'd be an interesting day. Definitely. I've fished with Chris before, and he's awesome to fish with, non-stop. If you're a chatter like me and you've got Chris Hickson on board, there's no gaps for any silence or uncomfortable silence. Yeah.
All right. So is Hickson your pick as well, or are you?
My ABT draw over the years is let me fish with so many different anglers, and one I guess bucket list angler that I want to fish with is Mario. And hopefully I can do it in I'm not worried what arena it is in. I'd love to do it in Victoria as on his home waters, but Mars is just exciting, and again another true gentleman to the sport. If any anglers watching, ABT anglers watching, and they've fished with Mario before, they'd know he's just a gentleman in the sport, and just to watch his skill set, he's quite versatile, really good, fishing a vertical presentation with a crab or a muss, or a lightly weighted plastic, a grub on a 1/16 or something like that. Mario's got it all down pat, and he can crank as well. He won the grand final at Clarence, cranking a rock wall, throwing a deep chubby. So when you have anglers like that, and you can go out with them for the day, you can learn so much as an observer or a non-boater, because they've just got so much knowledge in their head.
See, I'd take a totally different approach, because ABTs can be a bit hectic and we're non-stop go. So sometimes it's nice just to have a little time out.
Yep.
So I reckon I'd jump on the board with Jamie McEwen.
Yep.
Because he does not talk at all while he's fishing. It would just be a nice, quiet, zen out time on that boat. I reckon that's the angle I'm going.
It's like running an ad break for an hour, so you don't hear anything else. Yeah, good on Jamie. It works for him. He's doing really well. So I'm sure he focuses on his fishing it, and he's just come off a win at the QTS round up in the Gold Coast, with fishing with another Queenslander, Mark Sarek. So he's come into the Open with a bit of form. So it'll be interesting to see if he can hold it out for the 3 days. Yeah, so very much one to watch. Yeah, so and then we've also, like I said before, we've got Steve on the big screen here, so we can see what's going on. He's been targeting a lot of old rusty boats at the moment, just trying to use his forward facing sonar, which we had the discussion before on the panel, how much of a game changer that is to our sport. So what do you reckon, Dave? It's a game changer. You think it's a must on Sydney Harbour?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've only used it once. I've only used it up north on Barra, actually, when I was up in Mackay last year, but I haven't tried on BREAM yet, so
yep.
But it is a big game changer. Some people love it, some people don't.
Yep.
So,
even you watch a lot of Steve's live streams and videos and his highlights that he does, and he actually incorporates a bit of his live sonar stuff into his streams now, and it's just the time it saves him on the water as well. From his side of it, he can pull up to a whole heap of a bit of structure, pontoons, pylons. He can just scan. No fish. There's fish.
Yep,
So it
yep,
just
yep.
saves that trial and error.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And that was a really good. That's a really good point, Nick. I noticed that last year, seeing Steve's highlights, and when he actually won the event, he moved quite fast through a lot of areas, like saying, "Yep, no fish," and then he worked through boat holes as well, which is it's a bit of a game saver. We have originally seen it come through the bass, like in America, where a lot of anglers use it there in freshwater. But then, having it transition into our sort of game with BREAM, BREAM obviously school up a lot more around pontoons and structure, especially when it's like, not inclement weather kind of thing. So it is a bit of a game changer, I think, in certain ways.
Yeah, and we've seen a pretty good example from Morgo last year fishing all the boat holes with the muss on the live. And yeah, definitely helps you pluck out the right schools and know when the bite's actually on.
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting too. Like you can see them there, but sometimes there's that fine line whether you spend too much time trying to catch them.
It's a tool that you're using to go help. It just because you have it doesn't mean they're all going to eat.
Yep.
If
That's
they
right,
don't want what you're throwing down, and you can't read their reactions to things and understand. So again, it is just a tool in your kit.
Yep.
It's not a guaranteed victory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, still requires a lot of skill.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So just to make, and that's converting bites to actually landing fish is another thing as well, which ABT anglers are quite versed at.
What do you think? I think we've got a weigh-in site. We
Yeah.
should probably go start setting up pretty
Yeah,
soon.
I think so. Yeah, that'd be good. We'll have, as you can see on the live estimate here, you can follow the guys and see what's going on. We've had no change at the moment. We're hoping some guys will jump up now that tide has really changed. Going through the top 10 again, we've got Tim Vickers in 10th.
Borno Corso's shot up a few spots.
Actually,
while we've been chatting.
Well, there you go. Yes. Daniel's had a good run here in the past. He was kind of one that I thought is one to watch. He's a Sydney person and knows these waterways quite well. So that he's really jumped up there as we've been yapping away about garbage. So Daniel's at what, 5.4? So if we look at,
sorry, I took
that's
it away.
right, no worries.
There we go.
So 5.425. So we're just going to check what his last fish might have been there. He's actually just looking at that bag. It's quite steady. We don't quite know what the last fish was, but it's obviously a good one to shoot him up there. So that's a good move. And Mario's just snuck into the top 10 there. So we've got Tim Vickers with 9 fish at 4.065, and Mario Victorian 10 fish 4.475.
I think Mario went out in 17th place this morning as well.
Yep.
So a few movers and shakers.
That's
there,
great. That's great. So really good. So hopefully we see a bit more. There looks like there's a little bit more action happening now, and we did pick it. We knew it was going to be that 12 o'clock, between 12 and 2, that we were going to see a few guys start to move.
So those estimator scoreboards running right through to the weigh-in on abt.org.au. Stick around for 2 p.m, set the alarm, head over to our website again, abt.org.au. We'll have the live stream of the weigh-in, we'll have the live scoreboards where we actually measure the angler's skill in estimating their fish versus what they really weigh. So all coming to you live from the back dock here at Drummoyne Sailing Club from 2 p.m.
Perfect.
Should we do this all again tomorrow?
Yes, we'll be here, definitely.
All right, let's bring it home for day 3 of the 2024 Daiwa BREAM Australian Open here at Drummoyne Sailing Club, Sydney Harbour. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, that was American.